Before cathedrals reached toward heaven, before saints' names echoed across centuries, before Christianity had structure, clergy, or sacred books, God entrusted His church to ordinary men, fishermen, tent makers, laborers, men whose only power was faith. And among them rose one man, a man whose words calmed divided churches, whose courage strengthened persecuted believers, whose miracles stunned an empire. A man whose final breath became a beacon for sailors, martyrs, and all who stand against storms. His name was Clement. Clement was born in the 1st century, when Rome was at its height, an empire of marble palaces, crowded marketplaces, chariots rattling on stone roads, and gods carved in shining bronze. Some say he was born into a noble household, wrapped in privilege and education. Others say he grew up surrounded by scholars and philosophers. But everyone agrees on this: Clement was restless. Even as a young boy, he searched for truth, like a thirsty traveler searching for water. He wandered through temples dedicated to gods who never spoke. He listened to priests who recited empty rituals, and every night he stood on rooftops watching the stars, whispering into the silence. Who made all this? Who holds the universe in His hand? The sky gave no answer, but God was preparing his heart. Years passed. His search for truth pulled him across the empire, and word reached him about a strange new movement. Followers of a crucified teacher who claimed he rose from the dead. Clement traveled east to see for himself. There he met men whose voices carried the fire of heaven. Men who had walked with Christ. Some say he learned from Paul, the apostle who once dragged Christians in chains but became their protector and father. Others say he sat at the feet of Peter, the fisherman turned shepherd of souls. Imagine Clement listening to Paul proclaim, "Christ died for us while we were still sinners." Imagine him hearing Peter, with his weathered hands and teary eyes, whisper, "Feed my sheep." Those words fell into Clement's soul like seeds into fertile earth. But Rome was no safe home for Christians. Nero's madness swept across the empire like a hurricane. Christians were blamed for the great fire of Rome, hunted like animals, lit as torches in Nero's gardens, fed to beasts for entertainment. Clement watched believers walk into death singing psalms. He saw fathers comforting families with promises of heaven. He saw mothers protecting their children with whispered prayers. Fear could not break them. Their courage was the answer to all the questions he had carried since childhood. And Clement knew he had found truth. He was baptized and became a new man. When Peter, Linus, and Cletus were gone, the church needed someone steady, someone wise, someone who understood suffering. They chose Clement, not as a ruler, but as a father. The Christian world was scattered. Small gatherings in homes, secret meetings in caves, whispered prayers in back alleys. Clement wrote letters filled with encouragement, unity, and peace. His letter to the Corinthians was so powerful that early Christians read it during Mass alongside Scripture. He reminded believers, "Let us fix our eyes on the blood of Christ and understand how precious it is." When churches argued, his words restored them. When heresy threatened, his teachings defended the truth. Clement became known as the Pope who brought peace. But peace has enemies. The Roman authorities feared the growing Christian movement. Too many nobles were converting. Too many slaves were embracing Christ. Too many soldiers were abandoning idols. Clement's influence reached too far. He was arrested and sentenced to exile in the distant region of Chersonesus, in the freezing lands of Crimea, where prisoners labored in stone quarries and salt mines until death took them. When Clement arrived, He saw hundreds of prisoners starving and exhausted. But what broke his heart most was their thirst. There was no water. Guards refused mercy. Prisoners collapsed under the sun. Clement climbed a hill, lifted his hands toward heaven, and prayed, "Lord, you gave water from the rock when Moses cried out to you. Give these people water now." Then the earth cracked open beneath him. A spring of fresh, clean water burst forth. Prisoners ran to drink. Some wept. Even the guards stood speechless. A miracle had happened before their eyes. From that moment, conversions spread like wildfire. Clement didn't just encourage prisoners. He baptized them, taught them, healed them, and led them to Christ. Soon, even guards were asking for baptism. The mines, one of Rome's cruelest places, became a cradle of faith. Rome could not tolerate this. The emperor sent new orders. Clement must die. Soldiers tied a heavy iron anchor around his neck. An anchor, the symbol of hope, the sign of stability, the mark that would forever be associated with his name. The prisoners cried out, trying to reach him, but Clement raised his hand gently to calm them. He blessed each one, saying, "Do not fear. Christ is with you. Where I go, you will follow in his time." Soldiers dragged him to the edge of the sea. The waves swallowed the shore, and salt carried the sting of death. Clement whispered his final prayer, "Lord, receive your servant." They pushed him into the water. The anchor pulled him down. The waves closed. His earthly life was over. Heaven's gates opened to receive him. But God was not finished with him. A year after his martyrdom, something astonishing happened. According to ancient tradition, the sea receded, pulling back like a curtain to reveal a stunning sight: a beautiful chapel beneath the water. Inside, on a stone altar, lay the body of Clement, whole, preserved, untouched by decay, the anchor beside him. Crowds gathered. Believers fell to their knees. Even pagans trembled. The sea rose again and covered the chapel, but each year it opened once more to reveal the holy place. Rome silenced Clement's voice, but it could not silence his miracles. His letters continued guiding the church for generations. His courage became a model for shepherds and believers facing persecution. Sailors adopted him as their patron, calling on him in storms. His anchor became a symbol of faith that holds steady no matter how fierce the waves become. Across the centuries, his message still whispers, "Where Christ is, there is peace. Where faith stands, no storm can move it." If St. Clement's courage strengthened your heart, if his miracles inspired your faith, if his story reminded you that God still speaks in storms, please take a moment to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more powerful stories of faith, miracles, and heavenly courage.